What happens when a CEO orders a meal at his own diner and discovers the truth shock behind? Monica James had built her restaurant empire from the ground up. Over the last 11 years, her soul food diner chain Southern Grace had expanded to 15 locations across Georgia and Alabama. Known for buttery biscuits, crispy fried chicken, and a family-first mission, Southern Grace had become a staple in small towns and cities alike. But lately, something wasn't right. Negative Yelp reviews had started trickling in. Then they poured. Complaints about cold food, rude staff, and endless wait times kept surfacing. More troubling was the staff turnover. Employees were quitting in waves. Yet Monica's district managers brushed her concerns aside. Just the post-COVID labor shortage, they'd say. We're running fine. Monica didn't buy it. So one Wednesday afternoon, she made a decision that would change everything. She was going undercover. She chose a location in the town of Ashford, a quiet suburb 2 hours south of Atlanta. It was one of her first franchises, once a gem, now slipping in reviews. Few employees there had met her in person. She figured it was the perfect place to start. To ensure she wouldn't be recognized, Monica left behind her signature power blazer, swapped her heels for worn sneakers, and covered her natural curls with a faded baseball cap. She added a pair of thick-framed glasses and let her usual polish fade beneath a loose hoodie and jeans. No one would suspect this tired-looking black woman of being the CEO behind Southern Grace. At 12:32 p.m., Monica pushed open the diner's front door. The bell jingled faintly overhead. Inside, the place was busy lunch rush. Plates clinked, kids cried, and the air smelled of fried okra and cornbread. The walls, once painted a cheerful butter yellow, now looked faded and scuffed. The booths sagged. It wasn't dirty, just worn out, unloved. "Hey there. Welcome to Southern Grace," came a voice. Monica turned to see a young waitress with deep brown skin and tired eyes. Her name tag read Tasha. She smiled, but it didn't quite reach her eyes. "Can I get you started with something to drink?" Tasha asked, tucking her notepad into her apron pocket. "Just coffee, thank you," Monica replied, sliding into a corner booth near the window. From there, she could watch everything. Tasha nodded and moved quickly between tables, refilling drinks, taking orders, and dodging a fussy toddler who'd tossed his spoon. Monica watched closely. Tasha moved with efficiency, but there was weariness in her step. Something was off. As Monica sipped her coffee minutes later, she noticed a man in a grease-stained apron shout from the kitchen, "Tasha, you're holding us up again." The words cracked through the clatter of dishes. Tasha flinched but kept going. Monica's heart sank. This wasn't the kind of place she had built. Not at all. And she wasn't about to walk out without finding out why. Monica stirred the thin, lukewarm coffee in her chipped mug. It had been almost 10 minutes since Tasha took her order for a chicken sandwich and fries. But Monica wasn't concerned about the wait, she was focused on Tasha. The young waitress weaved expertly between crowded tables, never missing a beat, but Monica noticed how the stress lived in her shoulders. Her smile was automatic. Her eyes never relaxed. She was moving like someone constantly bracing for impact. Then came the first sign of something deeper. At the booth next to Monica, a white couple in their 50s waved Tasha over. "We've been waiting forever," the man snapped, his tone sharp. "What's so hard about getting 2 meat loaves and mashed potatoes?" "I'm very sorry, sir," Tasha said quickly, already scribbling on her notepad. "Let me check with the kitchen and get those right out." The woman gave her a tight-lipped glare. "Next time, send one of the other girls. You people never listen." Tasha froze for just a second, long enough for Monica to feel it in her chest before she nodded and walked away in silence. Monica's eyes narrowed. The table hadn't complained to the white waitress serving the far end of the room. Just Tasha. Minutes later, Tasha returned with Monica's food. "Sorry about the wait," she said softly, placing the plate in front of her without meeting her eyes. "No problem at all," Monica replied, gently. "You're doing great." Tasha blinked, as if she wasn't used to hearing that. "Thanks," she murmured, and turned away. Before Monica could take a bite, she heard it again, raised voices from the kitchen. "Tasha." The same gruff voice from earlier. "If you screw up one more order, I swear." It was the manager. Monica could now see him clearly, a stocky white man in his 40s, arms thick, apron stained, standing like a bulldog just behind the pass window. His voice carried through the swinging doors like a slap. Tasha's reply came weakly. "I double-checked the ticket." "I don't need excuses," he barked. Monica put her fork down. Her stomach tightened. The customers nearby pretended not to hear. No one intervened. This wasn't just mismanagement, this was systemic disrespect. The way Rick spoke to Tasha publicly, aggressively, wasn't how he spoke to the other white waitresses Monica had observed. They made mistakes too, but received gentle corrections or quiet reminders, not humiliation. At another table, two teenage boys whispered as Tasha passed. "Bet she won't last another week," one snorted. "They only keep the black ones for show." Monica's fists clenched under the table. She felt the heat rise in her face, not from anger alone, but from recognition. She knew this kind of microaggression too well. She built Southern grace to be different, inclusive, respectful, human. But here, in this forgotten branch of her company, it felt like 1965 all over again, just with smartphones and neon menus. Then, from the kitchen, soft but unmistakable, Monica heard muffled sobbing. She rose from her seat and moved silently toward the swinging door. Something inside her said, "This ends now." Monica pushed open the swinging kitchen door just wide enough to peer inside. Tasha stood with her back to the fryer, one hand clutching her apron, the other wiping at her cheek. Her mascara was smudged, her chest rising and falling in short, controlled breaths. The manager, whose name she now caught as Dale from the embroidered apron, loomed just a few feet away, arms crossed, face twisted with frustration. "I'm trying, okay?" Tasha said, her voice cracking. "I haven't sat down since I clocked in. I haven't even had water." "If you can't handle the heat," Dale snapped, "then maybe this ain't the job for you. No room for slackers here." Monica's blood turned to ice. This was not constructive criticism. This was targeted, degrading abuse. And worse, there were witnesses. Two line cooks continued chopping vegetables, pretending not to hear, their eyes fixed on the cutting board. Fear lived in this kitchen. Fear and silence. That was when Monica stepped inside. "Is there a problem here?" she asked calmly, her voice firm but even. Dale turned, caught off guard. "Who are you?" he barked. "This is staff only." "I'm a paying customer," Monica replied, crossing her arms. "And I just heard you humiliate that woman in front of your entire staff." Tasha looked up, startled. She opened her mouth to speak but faltered. Dale's tone turned defensive. "She's behind on orders. We're short-staffed. I'm trying to run a business." Monica stared at him, cold and steady. "And you think shouting at your staff, threatening them, and letting customers demean them is good business?" Before Dale could answer, one of the younger cooks spoke up. A skinny white kid with nervous energy and inked forearms, his name tag read Liam. "Tasha hasn't even had a water break," he said quietly. "She's been on her feet since 7 a.m. Dale glared. "Stay out of this and get back to prep." "No," Monica interjected. "He's right. And she's taking a break now. I told you, we're slammed." "There's always time to treat people like human beings," Monica interrupted, her voice sharper now. Tasha looked between them, unsure what to do. "Go sit down for 5 minutes," Monica said gently, placing a hand on Tasha's shoulder. "You've earned it." Tasha hesitated. Dale started to protest, but Monica raised her hand, the authority in her tone undeniable. "Enough." With trembling fingers, Tasha pushed through the back door to the break room. Dale squared up. "You think you can walk in here and tell me how to run my shift? You're just some nosy customer." Monica held his gaze. "You sure about that?" Before Dale could answer, she added with quiet intensity, "What if I told you I knew exactly how this place was supposed to run? That I know every value this company claims to stand for?" Dale faltered. Monica took a step forward. "And what if I told you that you're failing them, all of them, and making my company look like just another place where respect doesn't matter?" His face turned pale. But Monica didn't say another word. Not yet. She needed to see just a little more. Monica returned to the dining area, her pulse steady but her jaw tight. She didn't sit back down. Instead, she lingered near the counter, watching as Tasha slowly reappeared from the back, her eyes slightly red, her posture a little straighter. She moved toward a table with a mother and her toddler, placing down a fresh plate of waffles with practiced care. Despite everything, Tasha still managed a soft smile as she handed the child a crayon and coloring menu. Monica glanced toward the kitchen. Dale stood behind the pass window, arms crossed, watching Tasha like a hawk. There was no correction, no guidance, just scrutiny and control. A few minutes later, an older white man in a flannel shirt flagged Tasha down and waved his fork. "These eggs are overcooked," he muttered. "Can't y'all ever get something right back there?" Tasha, calm but visibly weary, leaned in. "I'm so sorry, sir. I'll have the kitchen fix it immediately." He grumbled. "Maybe if you didn't spend so much time gossiping." Before she could respond, Dale exploded through the kitchen doors. "What's the issue here?" he barked, glaring at Tasha. The customer raised a hand. "It's fine. She's handling it." But Dale wasn't satisfied. He turned back to Tasha. How many times have I told you to double-check plates? It's basic stuff, Tasha. You screw up, and we all pay for it. That was the final straw. Monica stood abruptly. Her chair scraped the tile floor with a sharp screech, and all heads turned toward her. That's enough, she said, loud and clear. Dale whipped around, irritated. And who the hell do you think you are? Monica calmly reached into her pocket, pulled out her wallet, and flipped it open to reveal her Southern Grace executive badge. The gold embossed name and title gleamed under the overhead lights: Monica James, founder and CEO. The diner went silent. Tasha froze mid-step, her eyes wide. Liam peeked from the kitchen, still holding a knife in one hand. Even the grumbling customer sat straighter. Dale stared. His face drained of color, then flushed a deep red. I didn't know. No, Monica interrupted, her voice cool and sharp. You didn't. Because if you did, you wouldn't be treating my staff like garbage. You wouldn't be speaking to women, especially black women, like they're beneath you. And you sure as hell wouldn't be humiliating people in front of customers. Dale opened his mouth, but Monica cut him off again. Let's talk in the back, she said. It wasn't a suggestion. Dale hesitated, then walked stiffly toward the office. Monica followed, but paused beside Tasha for just a moment. I see you, she said quietly. And I won't let this slide. Then she stepped into the back office and closed the door behind her. Dale stood awkwardly beside the desk. Monica didn't waste time. You're done here, she said, her voice low and unwavering. He blinked. What? I said you're fired. Effective immediately. HR will handle your paperwork. You don't speak to anyone else here. You gather your things and leave now. Dale's jaw dropped. You can't. I built this place from nothing, Monica said, stepping closer. And I will not watch people like you tear it down. Dale didn't argue again. He just nodded stiffly and walked out, defeated. When Monica returned to the dining area, the room was silent. All eyes were on her. Tasha and Liam stood near the kitchen, expression stunned but hopeful. Monica took a deep breath and spoke loud enough for all to hear. Thank you for your hard work. Things are going to change around here starting today. Then, looking directly at Tasha and Liam, she added, You two meet me after your shift. We need to talk. For the first time in hours, someone smiled. The last customer left just after 8 p.m., and the clatter of plates and forks gave way to silence. The fluorescent lights still buzzed above, but the energy in the diner had shifted. Tasha stood by the counter, nervously twisting a damp towel in her hands. Liam leaned against the soda machine, his apron slung over his shoulder, looking unsure but curious. Monica returned from the back office without her disguise. Her cap was off, glasses tucked away. She walked with confidence, now no longer the anonymous customer, but the woman who'd built Southern Grace from her grandmother's kitchen recipes and years of sweat. Let's sit, Monica said gently, motioning toward a booth in the back. Tasha and Liam followed, still processing the fact that the woman they'd seen pouring coffee hours earlier was their boss. Monica leaned forward, resting her elbows on the table. First, I want to thank both of you for your resilience, for your honesty, and for the grace you showed under pressure. What I witnessed today broke my heart, but it also reminded me why I started this company in the first place. Tasha's voice was barely above a whisper. I didn't think anybody at the top even cared. We're just down here trying to survive. Monica looked her in the eye. I care. I just didn't see it because I relied on filtered reports and district managers who stopped telling the truth. That ends now. Liam cleared his throat. Honestly, I was going to quit next week. I only stayed this long because Tasha didn't deserve to be alone. That made Tasha smile just a little. Well, Monica said, you're not alone anymore. She took a breath. Here's what's going to happen. First, I'm appointing a new manager. Someone with people skills, leadership training, and empathy. Until then, I'll be here myself. Every day. Tasha's eyes widened. You're staying. Monica nodded. For as long as it takes. She turned to Liam. You've shown initiative, loyalty, and a level of courage I don't see often. I'd like to offer you the position of assistant manager. You'll receive a raise, benefits, and leadership training. Liam's jaw dropped. Wait, seriously? You've already been leading. I'm just making it official. He blinked, speechless. Monica looked back at Tasha. And you 8 months of hard work under hellish conditions. You deserve more than a thank you. Starting next week, you'll receive a significant pay increase. And I'm introducing a bonus system that rewards people who go above and beyond people like you. Tasha's hand went in her mouth. Miss James. I don't even know what to say. Monica smiled. You've already said it with how you show up every day. The weight that had hung over them began to lift. And we're not stopping there, Monica continued. I'll be hiring more staff to end the short staffing issues. No more skipping breaks. No more yelling. This diner will become what it was meant to be, a place of dignity for customers and for those who serve them. For the first time in months, Tasha exhaled without tension. I believe you, she said softly. And this time, her smile reached her eyes. Over the next 4 weeks, Southern Grace and Ashford became unrecognizable, but in the best possible way. Monica arrived every morning before sunrise, dressed in sneakers and rolled-up sleeves, ready to clean fryers, prep ingredients, and run plates. She didn't come to observe anymore, she came to rebuild. The staff, stunned at first, quickly adjusted. They weren't used to being treated like partners. Now, every voice mattered. Tasha's energy changed almost overnight. With proper breaks, a manageable shift schedule, and someone finally listening, she no longer shuffled through her day, she moved with quiet purpose. Her smile wasn't just for show anymore. It came from something deeper, pride. Liam stepped into his assistant manager role with humility and care. He studied food safety manuals after hours, took on scheduling, and checked in with every line cooked before each shift. The younger team members looked up to him. He no longer just held the place together. He became a leader. Monica hired 3 new employees to ease the load and implemented daily huddles where the team could openly share concerns. No more whispering in the kitchen. If someone had a problem, it was discussed respectfully and together. She also brought in Denise Holloway, a veteran restaurant manager known for leading with heart. Denise was a black woman in her 50s with a warm laugh and zero tolerance for disrespect. From the moment she stepped through the door, she connected with the staff not through authority, but through empathy. You treat people like they matter, she said during her first team meeting. Because they do. And anyone who forgets that won't last long. Customers noticed the change too. The once tense atmosphere gave way to something rare: joy. Orders came out faster. Staff chatted kindly with guests. Kids were given crayons again. Locals returned, drawn not just by the food, but by the feeling. One Thursday afternoon, as Monica packed up her notes to return to Atlanta for the weekend, Tasha approached her at the door. I know you've got corporate stuff to handle, she said, but before you go, I just wanted to say thank you for seeing us, for doing more than just writing checks. Monica smiled. You're the reason this place stands. You all are. Tasha looked around the now bustling dining room. It feels different now. Better. Like, we matter. You do, Monica said simply. And I won't forget that again. As she stepped outside into the spring sunlight, Monica paused by her car. She glanced back at the diner she had once feared was slipping away. Now, it stood stronger than ever because the people inside were finally being seen, heard, and valued. It wasn't just a restaurant anymore. It was a movement in the making. And Monica James was just getting started. The true takeaway from this story is simple but profound. Leadership is not measured by how well you delegate from a distance, but by how deeply you care up close. Monica James didn't just fix a broken diner, she exposed a truth that far too many ignore. When leaders fail to look beneath the surface, they allow disrespect, exhaustion, and silent discrimination to take root. But when they step into the trenches and lead with empathy, they don't just improve performance, they restore dignity, loyalty, and purpose. This isn't just about business, it's about people. It's about realizing that no system will ever rise above the way it treats its most vulnerable members. And the reward? A stronger team, better service, real impact, and a culture people are proud to be part of. If this story resonated with you, take a moment to reflect: what kind of workplace are you building, supporting, or tolerating? Share your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever experienced something like this? What would you have done differently? Your voice matters. And if you believe stories like this can drive real change, subscribe now and join a community that values courage, fairness, and truth. Because awareness is the first step, but action is what transforms everything.